Going live. Cool.
Cool. Oh, let me open the YouTubes so I can find the chat. Let's see, where are you, chat? Where are you? Where
I'm
are you?
also gonna
Where? Oh, yeah.
I'm also gonna look at my AO3 right now for
Oh, sure.
stuff for later because I've read so much this week.
I'm reading this really long one, and then it had a sequel, and both. So the original and the sequel are both 100,000 words.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I've been working on today, or like this week. Uh, we're live, right? I'm looking for the.
Okay. Oh my god. My off topic for not off topic. My bottom show one today is gonna be so funny.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Why?
Um. Yeah. I'll talk about it on the bottom
Okay,
show.
okay, we
Yeah.
shall
Yeah.
wait for the Patreon exclusive.
Yeah. Yeah. I taught. I think that's how you pronounce it. Spell the name. Oh, I spelled it
Okay.
wrong.
I have to move my windows. Everything is wrong. Okay, there.
Okay, let me find my one. Hi, Kate Payne. Hello, Tangarius. Hello.
Hi, everyone. I just now have the chat up. Yay, hello, everyone. Welcome.
Look,
Notification squad, absolutely.
look
Yeah,
for
we're doing
my
a little early
bookmarks.
today. Sorry.
Yeah, because Jenny has to go
Finish
to.
packing.
Yeah. Yes, you have a much earlier flight than I do.
Oh my God. Yeah, because I have a layover. You're like, you have a direct flight, obviously, since you're flying out of like California, but
Yeah.
I am in Texas and I have a stop. And then I have like a 4 hour layover, and then I have my actual 14-hour flight.
Oh my god.
So it's gonna be like a 19 or 20 hour travel day for
Oh,
me. I know.
damn.
Thankfully, though, I was able to upgrade my flight seat.
Dude, I
So
looked at the
it'll be
price for mine
comfortable.
and it's so expensive. It's like $1,700 to upgrade my flight. So I'm not gonna do it.
1,700.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
That's a
do that.
lot.
Yeah, I'm
Mine was
not.
$700, so I
Must
was
be
able
nice.
to fundraise that.
Nice,
Thank
nice.
you. um, But yeah, I'm not done packing, so I'm waiting for packages to arrive so I can finish packing, and then I'll
Mm,
just go to sleep at. I think I'm gonna go to sleep at like 9 p.m. if I can, so I
okay.
can wake up
Take
early. Yeah,
melatonin.
I know. I packed melatonin for the trip also because I know the
Yeah.
time zone is like, yeah. Also, I don't know if you like believe in like homeopathy stuff. I don't really believe in it, but there's this like jet lag medicine that you eat
Oh.
on the flight. Like you eat it,
Yeah.
like it's like little candy, and you eat it like every 3 hours or something, and it's
Oh,
supposed to
really?
help. And it helped
Huh.
me last time I did it,
Yeah.
so I bought another pack to try again. I
Okay.
was like, oh,
Melatonin
yeah.
helped me a
Like while
lot.
you were flying, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. It's
Drugs.
good. I just realized that none of the none of the fanfics I read recently are tame.
Not explicit.
They're so explicit.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, we can just talk about one of them for the off topic with like a
They're
very like
so lewd.
censored. Okay, okay.
They're
Oh
so
no.
NSFW.
Oh no. Okay, we'll figure this out.
Okay, it's fine. I'll figure it out later. Okay. Hi
Okay.
everyone. Hello.
Hello. Oh, let me move my mic. Okay.
This is
The
Jenny and
chili pepper.
Sana's last stream before we
Yes.
come back for like in a month. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna be gone for a whole ass month, you guys. Oh my goodness. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
4 weeks without us?
I
Well, we
know.
have backlogs of the pre-recorded stuff.
Barely. We're gonna have to
Oh shit.
record at least 2 episodes while we're in Asia.
That's okay.
So,
We can do that.
yeah, I'm bringing my laptop
Yeah.
and my microphone with me.
Okay, I'm bringing my laptop, but you have your microphone, so that should be okay.
Yeah.
I have a tiny microphone, but it's not gonna catch both of our voices. So, yeah.
Yep. Yep. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna have fun.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, maybe
It'll
we'll
be
just go
fine.
shopping for BL stuff and talk about that.
Talk about the real stuff we see. That'd be kind
Yeah.
of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. Okay, so I'm recording already on Zencaster.
Okay.
I just
Cool,
have to
cool, cool.
open up our doc.
Okay. Wrote 8 chapters, bro.
Whoa. 8 chapters. What, do you think we can do 2 episodes today?
Well, we can definitely do one, and then I was thinking if we have time in Korea, we can do a second one.
Okay.
'Cause I don't know if I have time today. I'm sorry. I wish I had more time. I wish my flight was at like 6 in the morning.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Yeah.
my flight's at like 8.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah.
What? Jeff told me 10. I was really jealous.
No. It's like 8.
Oh, dang. Okay, so you have to be there at like 6 or something.
Even earlier, I think,
Whatever.
because it's
Really?
LAX. LAX is kind of
Oh,
risky
that's true.
clicks. I don't want to be late for LAX.
That's true, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
so like used to like my tiny airport that has like, I don't know, 10 gates. It's
Yeah.
so tiny.
Yep. I
Yeah.
don't want to mess around with that. Okay, cool. All right, let's get started.
Yeah. Okay.
Welcome to BLHQ. I'm Stella Chu.
And I'm Jenny Belly.
This is our weekly podcast breaking down the Danmei web novel Heaven Official's Blessing, written by MXTX. We deep dive a few chapters at a time, discuss themes, cultural backgrounds, and our overall reactions. Spoilers abound and screaming will be had, so you have been warned.
In a recap of last week's episode, Yin Yu pretends to make a deal with Jun Wu and uses Kuan Yi Zhen's soul and spiritual powers to trap Jun Wu in a spiritual circle. But Jun Wu easily breaks the circle and sucks Yin Yu's soul and blood through his curse shackle. Shelian chases after Jun Wu to get the curse shackle back, but he is defeated and forced to behave when the Rainmaster visits. It turns out that Hua Cheng has snuck in with the Rainmaster, and he helps Shelian escape his palace. While they escape, they run into the fetus spirit and Jian Lan, who unleashes her pent-up anger at Fengxin.
Now we're on chapter 215. The path shan't go astray, but the mandates are all the same. Before Fengxin can reply to Jiang Lan, she leaves the palace with the fetus spirit. Fengxin tries to run after her, but he is unable to leave his palace. He can only lay defeated in his great hall, staring at the giant white radish the fetus spirit left behind. Aww!
Oh, yeah.
This poor little family, it's so broken.
It's so and Fengxin is just like, what did I do wrong?
Yep.
I just want to help.
Huatsun suddenly reminds Xielan that during the Ghost Bride case, Xielan had heard the fetus spirit when he was in the marriage sedan. Huatsun guesses that Jun Wu sent the fetus spirit at the time, but Xielan has no idea why he would do that. He wonders if the guoshi knows Jun Wu's objectives. He wonders if the guoshi knows of Jun Wu's objectives. Huatsun says that his wraith butterflies have located the guoshi in the palace of Ling Wen.
Ling Wen is watching over the guoshi. Since she is wearing the brocade immortal, she is basically a civil god with the strength of a martial god. Hua Cheng suggests that they wait for Ling Wen to take off the brocade immortal before they make their move. Since Ling Wen is not officially banished, she is still technically a heavenly official. So wearing the brocade immortal, which is full of evil aura, for a long period of time is bad for her health. On top of that, staying in her male form uses a lot of spiritual energy. Knowing all this, Hua Cheng concludes that there must be a time every day where she takes off the brocade immortal.
Maybe while she's bathing. Dun dun dun.
God, if they fucking walked in on her while she was taking a bath, that'd been so awkward.
Yeah. Coincidentally, right at that moment, Ling Wen appears in the main hall and enters a side chamber in her male form, and then exits the chamber in her female form. She has left the brocade immortal in the side chamber. Huatsun looks to Xielan and says, "Now they're separated. Guga, you've got pretty good luck." Xielan huffs a laugh and replies, "It's Sanlan's luck that's pretty good." Xielan says that they should go to the side chamber and get the brocade immortal first, before going to the main chamber to find the guoshi. They wait until the guards change and then sneak inside.
Inside the room, Shelian sees a large chest, but when he opens it, his face darkens. Inside, there are a few dozen black robes that all look exactly the same. It's impossible to figure out which one is the real brocade immortal, just like before. Shelian asks Hua Cheng, "Where is Jun Wu? Do they have enough time?" Hua Cheng replies that Jun Wu is currently interrogating Mu Qing in the Great Martial Hall, so he hasn't noticed that Shelian is missing yet. Unfortunately, Hua Cheng's butterflies can't enter the Great Martial Hall to hear what they're saying, but he guesses that it can't be anything good. Shelian wonders if Jun Wu is offering something for Mu Qing's loyalty, just like how he did with Yin Yu.
Shailan says that the fastest method would be to try on each robe and then Huatsun give him an order. Huatsun thinks that this is too dangerous and offers to wear the robes instead. But Shailan shakes his head and says that before, the brocade immortal didn't work on him. Is it perhaps ineffective on ghost kings? Only Shailan can be a guinea pig. Huatsun watches Shailan remove his white outer robe and raises his eyebrow. He hands him one of the black robes and says, "Then I will take you up on your offer." But when Shailan puts on the robe and tells Huatsun to give him an order, Huatsun smiles and says, "Then Guga, my order is, let's borrow some spiritual powers."
Oh my god.
He's
Hot
like,
Chong, you fucker.
make
Hot
out
Chong,
with
you
me.
fucker. Oh my god. So sneaky. He's so sneaky. What a sneaky fucker.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my
That's so
gosh.
funny.
So smart, so smart.
So smart. Shellyeon's face grows hot and he quickly takes off the rope. It's not this one. Hwa-chang laments. Ah, what a shame. It's not this one. Shellyeon replies, Sanlang, this isn't right. You have to be more serious. Don't give orders like these. Hwa-chang replies modestly, am I not serious enough? Then what kind of orders do you mean? Can Guga be more specific on that? Shellyeon coughs, embarrassed, and says, either way, you can't make me borrow spiritual powers from you. Everything else is fine. Like, turn around in a circle, jump twice or something, whatever you want. Hwa-chang raises a brow. Everything else is fine, right? Very well, I understand.
Shaylan puts on another robe. Hwatson smiles again and slyly orders, Guga, don't borrow spiritual powers from me. Oh my god! This sly dog.
Oh my god, I love him
The
so
sly
much.
fox.
Oh, so
Shaylan
funny.
tries to remove his robe, saying, okay, this is not the one. But Watson stops him and says, wait, Guga, who says it's not this one? You haven't proven it wrong yet. Since Watson ordered don't borrow spiritual powers, the only way to prove that the robe is fake is to go against the orders and borrow spiritual powers. Sheila feels shaken looking at Watson's serious face. You're too cunning. You can't do that. Watson hugs his arms and says that he followed all of Shaylan's instructions. How can he be called cunning? Wasn't he just staying true to his words?
He didn't break any rules. He listened to
God.
Shellyeon's instructions.
Oh my god, amazing.
So funny. I love their fucking, they're flirting. They're so funny.
Yes.
Shellyeon is stunned, but after a moment, he quickly rushes up and gives a small peck. Hwa-chang says calmly, very good. It's been verified. This one is indeed not it either. Shellyeon takes off the robe and puts on another, saying, don't give that order again either, all right? Hwa-chang smiles and agrees. Shellyeon thinks to himself, it feels like Sanlang is harder and harder to deal with. Is that just my imagination? But it seems like Hwa-chang is done teasing him, and he only gives out real orders for the rest of the robes. Unfortunately, none of the orders work on Shellyeon. So does that mean that the Brocade Immortal is not here? Hwa-chang wonders if maybe Shellyeon is immune to the Brocade Immortal's effects too. But how can that be?
This is such a flirtatious
What a good chapter.
chapter.
What
Love
a
it.
great chapter.
Watson's so shameless.
He is. I can't believe he said that. Oh, it's so cute.
It's so
He's
cute
like
when
a
he's
sly
like
fox.
super flirty. Like he's got such good riz.
He does. Oh my god, he's like the king. Yes. Oh my god, absolutely.
He's had years and years of training. Just
800-year
practicing.
virgins. These
Yeah.
guys.
He's probably like reading books on like pickup lines and stuff.
Oh my god, can you imagine? He just like orders Yin Yu to find like every single like flirting book possible.
Yes. Oh my god. I'm taking advice
Have
from
you seen
people.
those like memes where he's always like mentally talking to Yin Yu for like advice while he's like talking to Shellyeon?
I see the ones where it's with a
Hushwan?
with
Oh yeah,
Hushwan,
those are
and
so
Hushwan's
funny
like,
too.
leave me alone.
Yes. Like I remember like there was someone like the trailer for season 2 where there's like that gust of wind. It's like Yin Yu in the background like fanning him.
Yep, with big old fans.
It's like the number one what's that word?
Wingman.
Wingman, yeah, number one wingman.
Yep.
Yeah, so cute.
Oh my god, so cute. All right, let's read some chat. Hello Anthony, welcome.
Hi.
And then Kate Payne says Watson was like, no, I'll do it. Till Shaylan took off his robe and he's like, oh, okay, no, wait, let's just go
Yeah,
with that.
as soon as Shellyeon started this robing, Hwa-chang's like, all right, I like where this is going.
Yeah. Keep taking your clothes off. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hi, Fee. Welcome. Is this your first time joining us on our live stream?
Oh, hello. Thanks for joining us.
How you doing, Fee? Tenguria says Ninja Watson being sneaky with the riz.
Oh, hella sneak.
yeah.
Hella sneak.
So many years to work on his flirting. Yeah, I would love to just like see a fanfic where it's just Watson like going from
Oh
super
my god.
awkward teenager
Yes. Yes.
to master of pickup lines. It's just,
Yes. Just confident ghost king. I love
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
He had a lot of character development because remember the last time we met him, he had no riz. He was just so awkward and
He was so
virginal.
shy. And you're just
Yeah.
like, oh, can't make eye contact. Can't even touch him. Just he's too pure. I can't touch him. And now he's just like constantly finding excuses to like make him naked and look at him. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next chapter. Chapter
Okay.
216, hard to put on, harder to take off. Feeling
What is this?
defeated, Shaylan puts on his white outer robe again. He says that they have no choice but to take the entire chest of robes with them. But right at that moment, Ling Wen enters the side chamber. There's a moment of silence while the surprised Ling Wen stares at the two innocent-looking intruders. But then she raises two fingers to her temple to inform Jun Wu. Hwaton moves quickly and creates a barrier around the side chamber, slamming the doors shut and preventing Ling Wen from making any communications. She then threatens her and tells her to stay still, or else he'll burn the brocade immortal with ghost fire. But unexpectedly, Ling Wen bursts out in laughter and says that Xielan isn't holding the brocade immortal.
Shelion suspected that the chest full of black robes were all fake, but he reasons that the robe must still be somewhere inside this chamber since they saw Ling Wen leaving the room without it. Ling Wen confirms that yes, it is still inside this chamber. Suddenly, Shelion has a hunch and he looks down at his own white outer robes. Ling Wen says, you've guessed right. Right now it's being worn by your highness. Earlier, when Shelion removed his robes and threw it on the floor, the brocade immortal changed its appearance to match, and Shelion unsuspectingly put it on. Hwa-Chang overturns the chest of robes, and at the very bottom they see Shelion's real outer robes. What a clever trick!
Ling Wen reveals that she taught the brocade immortal this trick, so technically she has tricked Xielan into wearing the robe. That means he has to obey all of her commands. Oh man, I want this brocade immortal for myself.
You
Oh,
want to boss people around,
of
make them do everything,
course.
do everything
Against
you
their
say.
will. I love
Yes,
it.
yes.
Xielan thinks that he's immune to the robe's effects, but Ling Wen orders, Your Highness, from now on, you cannot attack me. If you hear me, then nod your head. And despite his attempts to disobey, he finds himself nodding his head. How come the robe works now, and it didn't work with Hwatson's orders earlier? Hwatson and Xielan grow still and exchange looks. Now Ling Wen has the upper hand. She orders Hwatson to remove the ward and then orders Xielan to attack Hwatson if he makes any moves against her. No!
I know. But instead of following her orders, Hwa-Chang only smirks. The next moment, Ling Wen's eyes widen when she realizes that she can't speak. Secretly, Hwa-Chang has placed a butterfly on the back of her neck, which has the ability to immobilize her and prevent her from speaking. But Ling Wen's earlier order goes into effect, and Shelion is forced to raise his hand and lunge towards Hwa-Chang. But Hwa-Chang doesn't budge or move and lets Shelion's hand crush his chest, striking his heart. Shelion is shocked, but Hwa-Chang firmly grips his wrist and says, All right, attack complete. Command release. Shelion regains control over his body, but his face drops and he says, Sanlang, are you hurt?
Hwatson only smiles and says, Gege is indeed incredible. What a beautiful blow. Shielan's face is still dark and he says that he seriously used 70% of his energy in that blow. Is Hwatson really all right? But Hwatson replies that Xielan really is incredible. If not for the two cursed shackles on his body, he'd be even stronger than Jun Wu. Xielan unconsciously touches the shackle on his neck, and Hwatson asks him why did he keep the cursed shackle when he had the chance to remove them. Xielan is taken aback and says, Maybe it was to remind myself of some things. Sanlang, don't change the subject. What kind of bad habit is this? The situation just now. It'd be fine if you held me down. Why did you have to take the blow yourself?
Hwa-Chang replies that Shelion changes the subject often too. Doesn't he have the same bad habit? On top of that, Shelion always puts himself in danger. Didn't Hwa-Chang just copy him? Shelion feels guilty, remembering how Hwa-Chang witnessed him throwing himself into the water chasing the fetus spirit, and how he almost swallowed a sword to stab the fetus spirit out of his stomach. Hua Cheng says that taking a hit is Shellyan's bad influence on him. Shellyan then changes the subject, saying, "Never mind, Sanlang. Let's not talk about this anymore. Let's look at these robes first." He puts on the white robe, feeling woeful. Oh, he pulls on the white robes, feeling woeful. Though they found the brocade immortal, now the question is, how will they take it off?
Ah, I love how smart Watson is. He's like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
hit me, because then we don't have to draw this out anymore.
Yeah, it's just it'll be over. You have fulfilled Ling Wen's order, and now she can't make any more orders.
Yeah,
Easy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But also the problem is that like there's a hole in Watson's chest now.
He just fucking punched him with like 70. So there was this added detail of like how Shellyan says like normally when he's fighting, he always fights with self-defense or like redirecting other people's attacks. Like he never like is the one attacking. So this is like the first time that he's actually attacked someone, and it's way stronger than when he's like doing self-defensive moves. So he actually put a lot of strength behind that hit. So Hua Cheng is like he's probably really injured, but he's just like playing it off.
But there's no blood coming out of him because he's dead, right?
He's a ghost. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a ghost.
Okay.
It's fine.
Because I would
He can
just,
heal himself. He's really strong.
I would be so sad if suddenly just like blood starts like, you know how like
Oh no,
they
yeah.
just
No,
spit
he has
blood
no
in their
blood.
mouth?
He's so pale. He's like a vampire.
Watson, you're injured. No.
Yeah. I also love how Hua Cheng's calling Shellyan out like, you change the subject all the time, and you
Yeah.
always put yourself in danger. Like I just did the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's my turn.
Hypocrite, yeah.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
Gaga.
Yeah.
Aw.
So funny.
And like how cute his reaction was. He's like, Gaga, you're so good. You're so
You
amazing
know!
at fighting. Wow. Look
Instead
how
of like being
strong
like,
you are.
oh, I'm hurt. He's just like, damn, you're stronger than Jun Wu probably.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
hot. But also like
That is really hot.
I would love to hear Watson's like thought process. I just want him in his head to be like, oh fuck, I'm fine. But I have to be strong for Gaga. Gaga, you're
You
so
just don't let
cool.
it show. Be cool. Play it off, man. You got this. Play it off.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
Uh,
All right, let's do the next chapter. Chapter
Okay.
217, 100 year of pain, like 100 years of pain, 1,000 years of suffering. Shallan decides that he'll keep wearing the brocade immortal for now. They can burn it with him still wearing it, and as long as Ling Wen
can't.
Oh, they can't burn it with him still wearing it, and as long as Ling Wen doesn't give any orders, it should be fine. Although they could burn it while he's wearing it, he'll just die
He'll just
temporarily.
burn. Yeah, he'll just burn to death, and then he'll come out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Hua Cheng likes this plan though.
Yeah, it's gonna be very
I
painful.
don't think he's a fan.
Hwaton turns Ling Wen into a Daruma doll just in case, and Jalan picks it up and ducks it into his robes, or tucks it into his robes.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, that is definitely a T. Sorry.
And Shadan picks it up and tucks it inside his robes. The two of them leave the side chamber and go deeper into the palace, finding a set of crimson doors. Behind the doors, they hear the guoshi's trembling voice. How is this possible? How could this be? Shalan is instantly worried and kicks down the door, shouting, "Let him go!"
But when he gets inside, he sees the guoshi sitting at a table with 3 human-shaped paper dolls, and they're just playing cards. Shellyan doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. He thought that the guoshi was getting tortured, and he's just playing cards? But in the past, when Fengxian and Shellyan lived in the Royal Holy Pavilion, 7 out of 10 times when they went to look for the guoshi, they found him playing cards. It's been 800 years since then, and he's still playing cards. The guoshi ignores Shellyan and Huacheng, too focused on the game, and mutters, "Your Highness, you finally come, but let me finish this round first."
Priorities.
Yeah,
Priorities,
yeah.
sir. She then tries to drag him away, saying, "Master, what time do you think this is? Stop playing!" But the guoshi shouts with red eyes, "No, don't. Let me finish. I'm almost done. Just this round. Let me finish this hand. It's almost done. I might just win this time." Shaylan cries, "You won't win. You really won't win." They're forced to wait for the round to end, and thankfully, it ends quickly. But unfortunately, the guoshi does not win. He waves his hand to dismiss the 3 paper dolls and returns to his normal, calm personality. He says solemnly, "Your Highness, I knew you would come. I've been waiting for you."
Shellyan wants to say, It didn't look like you were waiting for me at all. But he remained silent, remembering to respect his elders. Instead, he asked if Jun Wu is really White No Face and the Crown Prince of Wu Yong. Ooh, let me just fix that really fast because there's a couple of those. White No Face. Oh, and now I lost my spot. 270. Oh, I see your highlight. Great. Okay. Oh, that was my
Yep, go
that was
for
my
it.
door. I'm gonna go get my package really fast.
Yep, go for it. Hello, chat. Let me respond to. I have like some messages I need to respond back to my friends with. Give me one sec.
Oh. Yeah, I opened this and it wasn't mine.
Private. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay,
UPS
cool.
came and took back the old package.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good.
Sorry, where was I? Okay.
You wanna
Instead, he asked.
How about just restart the whole paragraph?
Okay,
Make it
okay.
easier.
Shellyan wanted to say, "It didn't look like you were waiting for me at all." But he remained silent, remembering to respect his elders. Instead, he asked if Jinwoo is really White No Face and the Crown Prince of Wu Yong. The guoshi confirms that he is. Shellyan asks if he has any relation to the Crown Prince of Wu Yong. Are they really two different people? The guoshi replies, "The only relationship you share with the Crown Prince of Wu Yong is that he destroyed your kingdom, Shanle." Shellyan says softly, "But, guoshi, you once told me that you didn't know what White No Face was, and you were certain that he was born because of me."
The Guoshi replies, Your Highness, at the time I genuinely did not know who he was, and by the time I found out it was already too late. And to say he was born because of you was not incorrect. Shenlan doesn't understand. Why did he want to destroy Shenla? The Guoshi looks him in the eyes and says, Because of that... Sorry.
Yep.
Because of that one phrase you said. Shenlan is taken aback. The one phrase I said? What phrase? The Guoshi replies, Body in abyss, heart in paradise. Shenlan is incredulous. That's it? The Guoshi confirms, That's it. Shenlan asks, Just that one line? What's wrong with those words? The Guoshi says darkly, Everything. Everything all started with that phrase of yours. Fuck.
We're about to get to some backstory. The guoshi reveals that he was the one who made the rituals. Sorry. The guoshi reveals that he was the one who made the murals in Mount Tonglu. Every time Mount Tonglu gates opened, he would sneak inside to prevent a ghost king from being born, but also to leave clues to tell others about the kingdom of Wu Yong and the crown prince. He says that he couldn't speak about Wu Yong directly because anyone who spoke about Wu Yong or knew what happened or knew about Wu Yong were killed. Jun Wu is so strong that he has the power to flatten an entire city fortress into nothing but dirt in 3 days. The guoshi felt that he was too powerless himself, so he left behind clues hoping that someone would be smart and strong enough to do something.
Shenlan asks why the Guoshi keeps hiding and running, and Huatzin guesses that the Guoshi betrayed the crown prince of Wu Yong. The Guoshi confirms. In the past, the crown prince of Wu Yong was bright and glorious like the sun, even more glorious than the peak of Shelian's days as the crown prince. The Guoshi and his 3 peers were the vassals of the crown prince, all 4 of them appointed to heaven when he became a heavenly official. But the crown prince's spiritual powers were too strong. He had a dream where he wanted the city of Wu Yong dying in a... He had a dream where he saw the city of Wu Yong dying in a sea of fire, so he tried to save his people.
In the past, the guoshi agreed to help the crown prince save the people, even though he knows better now. But it was impossible to stop the volcano from erupting, and there were too many people in one kingdom to take shelter in another. So the only choice was to invade. Soldiers were sent out, clearing entire cities of every living citizen so that the Wu Yong people would have space to take over. When the crown prince found out, he was horrified and angry, descending on the battlefield and punishing the soldiers. That caused the people to turn on the crown prince. They needed to survive. They needed land. They had no choice but to invade. Why are they in the wrong?
People already started to desecrate his statues and burn his temples, but the crown prince withstood it all. Instead, he came up with an idea to save his people, calling the heaven crossing bridge. Called the Heaven Crossing Bridge. Since there wasn't enough land in the mortal realm, he would bring up all the people to heaven for the temporary shelter. The idea was practically impossible, but the four vassals believed in the crown prince and were convinced he could achieve it. The other heavenly officials were against the idea, but the crown prince withstood that too. He was up against three things: the anger of his people, the anger of the gods, and his task to create the heaven crossing bridge.
But creating the heavenly crossing bridge required all of the crown prince's attention and spiritual energy. Since he wasn't able to answer the prayers of his people, they started to grow angry and dissatisfied with him. The kingdom of Wu Yong was greatly populated and wealthy, with strong beliefs, so many gods always eyed the crown prince enviously. When they saw that the people were starting to turn on him, they swooped in and tempted the people away, dividing his believers to worship them instead, thus causing the crown prince's spiritual powers to weaken.
That's so messed up. That really
I
is the mirror image
know.
of Shelian's experience.
Yes. Oh my God. Their lives are like parallels. Like they could have been the same person. That's like why Jin Woo is so obsessed with him.
Yeah,
Ugh.
because Jun Wu is so broken and alone and down in the dumps. It's kind of similar to
Yeah.
Everything Everywhere All at Once if you think about it. Like that plot where
Yeah.
they are in the void all by themselves and they just want to share it with somebody else who understands.
They're just like, if I'm alone, I just want to bring someone down to my level. You know what I mean? I just
And
want to
see
bring
the
them
same
down
thing
to
that
the
I
dirt
see.
with me. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
I
And it
know.
makes me feel so bad for Jun Wu at
I
that
know. He's such
moment.
a sympathetic villain. Oh my God. I love that about this book that he has such a strong he has really strong motivation, like a sympathetic, understandable motivation. So I'm just like I can't completely hate him, even though what he does is so despicable.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Yeah. I hate White No Face, but I think I can like Jun Wu.
Well, they're one and the same.
Ish, right? Ish. One is like way more sadistic in the way they act. I mean, yes, it's just two sides of the same coin, but the
Yeah.
way that
Well,
they act is a little
Jinwoo's
different.
kindness is fake. Like he pretends to be kind, but
Yeah.
he's actually white. White no face is the embodiment of his hatred and anger. So they're one and the same.
And then also the Heaven Crossing Bridge is such a huge undertaking. So
Yes.
to give perspective to this, you guys, imagine the entirety of China. And
Yep. It's millions
China
of
is
people.
about to be destroyed by a ginormous volcano that's going to envelop the entire country, thousands of miles. And so one person is like, I'm just going to build a bridge that's going to go up to heaven, and
Yep.
all of you people are going to climb that bridge, and we're going to be fine. So he has to
It's
first build the
ridiculous.
bridge, and then he's going
Yeah.
to have enough spiritual power to retain those people inside of heaven.
Yes, because appointing a junior to heaven to like follow you, that takes a huge amount of spiritual power. That's why like no god has like, thousands of junior officials. They just have like a handful.
Yeah.
So to appoint a million fucking people, and literally he also had to hold the bridge up while the people were crossing.
Yeah.
And so build it, support it, and then bring people up. Like that's what he's going up against. And he has less spiritual power because like the fucking other gods are stealing his believers from him.
Yep.
So
No
like
one's
not
helping
helpful,
him.
y'all. Yeah.
It sucks. And I like the idea of the Heaven Crossing Bridge because it's very reminiscent of like ancient mythology of stories where somebody like some kind of simple concept is the pinnacle of the foundation of a story, such as somebody
Right.
who steals the immortal peach and then gets like banished from heaven because they ate a fruit, right? This is the same thing.
Right.
Like someone's building a bridge to save everyone, but like logically speaking, we're gonna be like, what the fuck, a bridge? That why don't you just displace everyone? This sounds so stupid, But because
Well,
it's
they can.
mythology,
There's nowhere else to
there's nowhere else to
go.
go. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like the sense of like mythological storytelling, which I really enjoy because it doesn't require any logic. It's more about like the process and the result than it is about
Right.
like coming up with a with a plot hole.
Like an actual, yeah. There's nothing in the like, there's nothing they can do mortally. Like they can't do anything realistically. It's not, they can't. They tried invading, and that just created a lot of death because they're literally like clearing out an entire city of like all the
Yeah.
innocent people and like all the children because like they just needed the land.
Yeah.
So that's not a viable option. So like the only other way is to like bring them to heaven. That's like gonna go the spiritual, the like
Yeah.
mythological option
Yeah.
because the realistic one isn't a good idea.
If it was me, I would have sealed myself into the volcano and then spent the next million years suppressing the volcano, sacrificing myself.
Maybe. He could
Or
have
I would
tried. I
just
guess he
killed
never really
everyone.
tried to like stop the volcano. They
Yeah.
because the volcano was gonna
It's
erupt
intense.
regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really intense.
It's
Yeah,
real intense. Like the
yeah,
explosion from it is like supposed to be
yeah.
so bad that
And
no one can deal with it.
and the volcano doesn't erupt just like one time. It erupts constantly for like days, for like weeks.
Yeah.
Like it's just a
Yeah.
constant eruption. So
Yeah.
it's like
It's a
it's not
heavenly
just a one and
calamity,
done.
essentially.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah,
Yup. Leon
yeah.
says, Jenny, your levels are spiking, so you might just want to move your mic a little bit further away.
Okay. I also lowered the thing on it.
Okay.
Okay, I will try this.
Similar to the idea of Tower of Babylon. Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah, I forgot that that was a thing.
yeah, I really enjoy like mythological, like think about like Greek
Stories.
myths and stuff, like Roman myths, like
Yeah,
they're
I
so
love Greek.
cool.
I was so obsessed with Greek mythology when I was younger because they're just such interesting stories.
Yeah.
But they're so human. They're good. They're good.
The one with anytime it's like love separated by space and time, I love like
Oh
the
yeah.
guy who looked back to his wife when he was bringing her out of
When was it supposed to
Hades.
look forward? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good one.
Because before
Yeah.
she was out of the shadow, then there was the nymph where the guy like chased her and then her mother turned her into a tree so that
Oh
she
yeah.
wouldn't be pursued by him anymore. Like that's I love stories like that.
That was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, so sad.
All right, moving on to the next chapter.
Okay.
Chapter 218. The crown prince was at a loss of what to do. It's not like he could demand the people to worship him, but he couldn't afford to lose spiritual powers or else he wouldn't be able to finish the heaven crossing bridge. The four vassals tried to go to the people and tell them the stakes to bring them back. But only a small portion of followers returned. The rest of the people were angry that their prayers were ignored and worshipped other gods who did answer their prayers. The crown prince told the vassals to stop and let the people go if they wanted to go. If they were forced to stay, their prayers would be half-hearted and meaningless anyway.
The other gods didn't want to help him and instead were busy taking his followers. So the crown prince became more and more silent and closed up, only focusing on creating that bridge. The guoshi washed over him every day, and though the crown prince was silent, he could feel his quiet suffering. 3 years later, the volcano finally erupted and all the people rushed towards the heaven crossing bridge. The four vassals assisted the crowd crossing over, but they also worried about the crown prince who was supporting the bridge all alone. Though in the past they felt confident that he could achieve anything, now they were actually worried.
At first, the bridge was stable, but as more and more people rushed over it, the crown prince's hand started to shake and his face grew pale. The guoshi tried to tell people to cross slowly and calmly, but everyone was too scared of the volcano erupting to wait. They all rushed the bridge like mad, and some people were even trampled to death. Hundreds of thousands of people were on the bridge, celebrating their salvation, when suddenly the bridge collapsed. The heavenly bridge was torn, and all those people dropped from the sky in an instant, screaming as they fell into a sea of fire. The crown prince was horrified, but it was too late. The bridge couldn't be repaired, and all the people had already died.
You want to say that last sentence again?
Yeah, sorry.
You're good. Do
I don't know why my throat just suddenly got really dry.
you have water?
The sorry. The crown prince was horrified, but it was too late. The bridge couldn't be repaired, and all the people had already died.
The guoshi says that bridge collapsed, and the people of Wu Yong also went mad. They set fires to burn down His Highness's temple, toppled his divine statues, used blades to pierce his heart until it was mush, used blades to pierce his heart until it was mush, cursing that he was a useless creature, a bullshit god. He was a god, and gods should have been mighty and strong. Gods couldn't fail, but he did fail, and so he could no longer be positioned above. So literally, the people fucking stabbed him in the heart and called him a useless creature. Remember how when Shelion cursed at Jun Wu and called him useless, he like fucking lost his shit?
Yeah.
It's because of this. Like
But
he's
also the
traumatized from his own
fact
downfall.
that Jun Wu reenacted the
Yeah,
same trauma.
fucked up, man.
He was just like, I'm just going to recreate you the same way that I was created. I'm going to let you live the trauma I
I
lived.
love that you just said that because that's gonna come into play later on. So just like that's a great sentence that you just said. Okay. But yeah, so the other gods are waiting for this moment and use as an excuse as a and use this as an excuse to banish him. The crown prince asked foolishly, "Why didn't any of you help me?" But then why would anyone help him for no good reason? If he successfully passed this calamity, then he would have grown even more powerful.
The crown prince was sent back to the mortal realm, and the four vassals followed him, assuring him that he could ascend again. The crown prince tried to cultivate anew, but it was too difficult, as Shailan himself would later experience. At the same time, the volcano was still erupting, and the entire kingdom of Wu Yong had fallen into crisis. There were refugees and riots. The gods used this opportunity to grant people little blessings, delivering food and medicine. Though they weren't willing to help with the volcano, they were happy to help the suffering people in the aftermath. The people turned their praise and adoration to the other gods, leaving only hate and rejection for the crown prince.
The guoshi found it unfair that the crown prince, who gave so much, received so little, and the other gods who gave so little received all the praise and adoration. At that time, the guoshi's heart began to change, and he now believed that the crown prince should have ignored the dreams and let fate run its course. Then he could have given blessings to the people after the volcano erupted, and the people would be grateful for him. But he didn't dare speak his thoughts to the crown prince, who was growing more and more depressed.
For days, the volcano continued erupting, and the people of Wu Yang were unable to escape. Finally, the crown prince said that if they sacrificed living beings to the kiln, it would pacify the volcano. They could find bad people to use for the sacrifice, but the guoshi and the vassals disagreed and argued against him. Before, the crown prince didn't want to invade other kingdoms in order to save lives. So how is sacrificing people to the kiln any better? The argument got very heated, and one of the vassals accused the crown prince of forgetting his heart, that he had changed too much.
The argument struck the crown prince to the core. His four vassals have always been his pillars of support. Even when everyone else betrayed him, they had stood by his side and told him to let it go. But after that argument, the three other vassals left and only the guoshi remained. The crown prince asked the guoshi pitifully, "Are you leaving?" The guoshi vowed, "Your Highness, I won't leave." The crown prince stopped talking about human sacrifices, and instead he and the guoshi conducted rituals near the volcano to calm its fury. But then one day, the guoshi discovered something that chilled him to the bones.
Waiting for a car to pass by.
Oh, good.
Okay. Well, I still hear it.
Nope.
The crown prince suddenly started to cover his face, claiming that it was an accident burned by. The crown prince suddenly started to cover his face, claiming that it was accidentally burned by fire, but he didn't allow the guoshi to examine his wounds. But then one day, the volcano finally stopped blowing. The people who saw the crown prince conducting rituals by the volcano thought he was responsible for finally stopping it, so they began to worship him again. His cultivation grew stronger too. But the guoshi felt that something was wrong. He'd been friends with the three vassals for such a long time, and he didn't think that they would just give up and leave. No matter how angry they were, there was no communication.
At the same time, the crown prince began to cover his face with a mask, never removing it. His personality was strange too. Sometimes he would act kind, and then suddenly become enraged. One time, he even smashed all the mirrors when he was home alone. The guoshi also heard strange voices deep in the night, coming from the crown prince's room, like people were arguing and whispering. But when he went to check, the crown prince was alone, until finally the crown prince forbade him from entering his room. One night, the guoshi heard the voices again, but this time he noticed that they sounded like his three friends.
Thinking that his friends had returned, he got up and ran into the crown prince's room. But all he saw was the crown prince laying in bed with the mask still on. After a moment, he heard the voices again, coming from underneath the mask. Hesitating, the guoshi took off the mask and was horrified to see that there, on the crown prince's face, were the faces of his three friends. The crown prince's face was covered in slashes, blood, and three faces growing on it, their mouths open and closing. Shailan realizes what had happened and says, "He threw the three vassals who left him into the kiln too?"
Gross. Gross.
So messed up.
Yeah. Jun Wu suffered. Everyone suffered. This book is suffering.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Imagine throwing your best friends into a sacrificial pit.
Only friends. Like, literally, like, no one else was by his side. Like, just fucking toss them into the volcano.
Yeah, it's like if Shailan tossed Feng Shin and his parents.
Yeah,
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
fuck you guys.
Oh no.
Can you imagine, like, he was so driven into a corner that he couldn't even, like, when his friends finally, like, betrayed him too and turned their backs to him, he was just like, fuck everything. Like,
Yep.
I give up. I'm gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy that Shelion never got to that point. Like, he pushed people away, but he didn't, like...
Because he had plot armor.
He did have plot armor. Because he's the
If
main
you think about
character.
it, it's like
He's
the
the main
same
character.
thing. He's the main character. That's it. That's
But
literally
he just thinks different. He thinks differently. He had Hua Cheng.
He had
protect him.
Hua Chun. If
Jinwoo had a Hua Cheng.
if he had one person to make him feel shame.
Yes. And, like, I don't know. One person to, like, make him feel like he belonged, you know,
Yeah.
also. Like, he
That
feels
he
so
could be
alone.
forgiven.
Yeah.
Oh, so sad. So messed up.
I know.
So, what do you guys think now that you found out what
About his
happened?
whole past. Yeah. Yeah.
Jinwoo's terrible
Right.
past, how dark it was. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
But also, having a terrible past does not mean you can do shitty things to other people, okay? That's not an excuse.
That's not
Nope.
therapy. It's cathartic, but
nope.
it's not therapy. This
Yeah,
is what,
it's not gonna fix you.
Yeah, this is what BDSM is for.
Love that. Love that.
So Kate Payne asks, was the volcano a heavenly calamity or just a natural disaster? It's kind of
Had
just a
he-
natural disaster.
Well, they also referenced it as a heavenly calamity because the gods didn't want to help him because if he survived it, he would have gotten even stronger.
Woo.
Yeah. So anyways, he failed. Yeah. That volcano just went poof.
Poof. Anthony said, Jenny, you're very cute last Sunday with your panda flapping ear hat.
Oh, geez, thank you. Yeah, I did a donation stream on Twitch for Korea and Japan.
I didn't even think to. I tried. I was like, oh, like I woke up this morning. I'm like, fuck, I should have done something like that. So instead, I'm just gonna do it on OF later.
Yeah, you still have time. Yeah, you still have time. I'm literally after this podcast, I'm packing and going to bed. But you still have time. You have more hours left in your day.
Yep. Let's see. Watson, bamboo hat, shaking hands,
Oh
saving
yes.
the world
Oh
from
my
dark
god, Bamboo
shadow.
Hat guy. That guy fucking saved his life, bruh.
Truly.
If Jinwoo had a bamboo hat guy.
Yeah.
But Shelion also tested the people one last time. Like he had enough faith to like hope. He had enough hope to like test the people. Whereas Jinwoo was like, nah, we're just gonna start sacrificing people. Fuck everything.
Yeah. Fuck everything. I would also say that because of Shailion's cultivation path, that might have kind of saved him. Because he was like willfully innocent. He didn't partake in any like thing
lewd stuff. Are you saying that virgins are superheroes? they think different.
Hello everyone in chat who's a virgin.
The virgins rise up.
Oh my god. Okay.
Lamau.
All right. I think we should do one more chapter.
Yeah, I think we have. Yeah, we definitely can. Oh, wait. It's like super long. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
fine.
think it's fine. It's fine.
Hmm.
Okay. Chapter 219, 100 Years of Pain, 1,000 Years of Suffering. When the three faces saw the guoshi, they began to scream his name. The guoshi was frozen in shock. The scene was more horrifying than watching millions of people fall from the bridge and get burned alive. The faces whispered to the guoshi, "Quick, run away. His Highness has gone mad," but staying quiet as if afraid to wake the crown prince. They explained that on the day of the argument, after they left, they actually turned back to check on the crown prince. But when they found him, they witnessed him sacrificing living humans to the kiln. The three of them tried to stop him, but the crown prince murdered them and threw them into the kiln with the other people.
The regular humans burned and died instantly in the volcano, but since the three vassals were cultivators, their resentment had caused their soul to latch onto the crown prince's body and grow upon his person. They nagged at him every day to prevent him from sacrificing more humans. Someone's honking outside.
What is happening outside?
It's where I live. There's a lot of cars, people.
I see, I see.
But
You should
since the
live in the middle of nowhere. like
bleh,
like me. It's quiet
bleh,
all the time.
yucky.
I love it.
But since the three vassals were cultivators, their resentment had caused their soul to latch onto the crown prince's body and grow upon his person. They nagged at him every day to prevent him from sacrificing more humans. At that moment, the crown prince wakes up, grabbing the guoshi's wrist. The guoshi is horrified to see four sets of eyes staring at him, with fresh blood pouring out of the gashes. The crown prince only sighs and says, "Haven't I told you not to come in here?" The gashes were caused by him using a shattered mirror to slice the faces of his own flesh. Wait, slice it to slice the faces off of his own flesh. But no matter how many times he cut, they always grew back.
Horrifying. Horrifying. The crown prince says, "Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. They became like this because they betrayed me. As long as you don't do the same, I will still treat you as before. As long as you are my loyal servant, nothing will change." But the guoshi is horrified and wants to leave. The crown prince can read his thoughts on his face and says, "Are you leaving too then?" The guoshi might have been able to forgive him if he had only thrown bad people into the kiln, but the crown prince had coldly killed and thrown his three bestest friends. The guoshi can't accept this, so the crown prince says, "It's okay. I had expected it. I had expected it. No one would stay after I've become like this. I can go on my own now. I understand now. I've always been alone. I don't need anyone."
The crown prince turns savage and strangles the guoshi with one hand, repeating to himself, "I can be on my own, all alone, 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 alone. I don't need anyone. I don't need anyone. I don't need anyone. I don't need anyone." But then the three faces start screaming, doing something to the crown prince that causes him to stop and scream too. The guoshi sees a sword underneath the pillow on the bed. He pulls out the sword, but the crown prince laughs coldly with red eyes. "Are you gonna kill me too? Come, stab me, quick. Stab me right in the heart. You can add to the count. I've got to see who will be the last to die. You lot or me."
But instead of stabbing, the guoshi shows the crown prince's reflection on the sword and cries out, your highness, please come back. Look at yourself. Look at what you've become." The crown prince had already smashed all the mirrors in the house, so this is his first time seeing his own reflection in a while. When he sees the horrifying creature he's become, he stands frozen, with two lines of tears streaming from his eyes. The guoshi cries too, dropping the sword. In the end, the crown prince tells him to scram, and the guoshi runs away stumbling.
Over the next few years, the guoshi never hears any news about the crown prince. The entire kingdom of Wu Yong is buried underneath the volcano ash. He's always served the crown prince since he was young, so now he finds himself with no direction or purpose. He creates three empty shells of his friends so that he can speak to them and play cards. As he grows his cultivation stronger, he instills magic and skills into the three fake shells. Xielan realizes that they are the other three guoshi of Shenle. He always thought that they were strange since they never socialized or left the guoshi's side.
After 200 years, the heavenly dynasty changes and the old heavenly officials fade from existence, with new officials ascending to replace them. The guoshi ignored all that and minded his own business, living shamelessly while waiting for death. Until one day, a crown prince is born under an ominous star, coincidentally the same as the crown prince of Wu Yong. Of course, it's Shelion of the kingdom of Shanle. Curious, the guoshi invents a new name, grows a beard to hide his identity, and becomes the guoshi of Shanle to investigate. Since he is a guoshi, one of his responsibilities is to speak with the gods in heaven as a representative of the kingdom. It's at that time that he meets Jun Wu.
Jin Wu had a completely different appearance from the crown prince of Wu Yang, but since the guoshi knew him so familiarly, he grew suspicious after their first meeting. Jinwu was like a new person and had no growths on his face. The guoshi wondered if his three friends had finally dispersed, and if that was the case, why bring up the past? Isn't it better to pretend not to recognize each other? But things changed when Jinwu met Shenle. But things changed when Jinwu met Sheliang. The guoshi says, "Your Highness, you must have guessed by now why I had such high hopes for you. You're very much like him, so I had hoped that you would be a god at he so I had hoped you would be the god he wanted to become and do what he couldn't do. You could use your perfection to remedy our regrets."
Huacheng interjects and says flatly, "You've been mistaken from the start. They're not alike at all." The guoshi replies, "Of course you'd say they're not similar now, but back then they were very much alike. And the bad thing was, they were too much alike." After the god-pleasing ceremony where Shelian saved that child, the guoshi was upset, not because the ceremony was interrupted, but because that incident had caused Jinwu to notice him. He began to ask the guoshi about Shelian, sounding very interested in him. The guoshi could tell that Jinwu genuinely liked Shelian, delighted like he found a good sprout to nature, and wanted to appoint him as a junior official. But the Goshi thought that something felt wrong, so he used many excuses to not get Shelian appointed.
The turning point was Yinan Bridge. A fearsome ghost haunted the broken bridge in a barren land, wearing broken armor, with flames of karma beneath his feet. His body was covered in sharp weapons, leaving bloody, fiery footprints with every step. The ghost asked Shelian three times. The ghost asked Shelian three questions, which the Guoshi felt were strange. But then Shelian defeated the ghost and ascended so quickly that the Guoshi never had a chance to figure out what was off. After Shelian ascended, Junwu continued to favor him highly, so the Guoshi decided to let it all go.
But then there was the drought, the rebellion of Yong-an, and the appearance of White No-Face. In the beginning, the Guoshi had no idea who White No-Face was. Even when the human face disease started, he didn't make the connection, since the curse of resentful spirits isn't anything novel. He really believed that White No-Face was born naturally from fate to punish Shelian for going against heaven. But as the plague progressed, the Guoshi began to fear the worst. He examined the family of three that fell to their deaths at the royal gates and discovered that they weren't actually human, but three empty shells filled with blood so that they would splat when they fell.
At that time, creating empty shells was a rare skill, and only the Crown Prince of Wu Yong knew how to do it so skillfully. In fact, he was the one who taught the Guoshi how to make them. The family of three had died at the gates and was the direct catalyst of the civil war, but it was all a trap. Shailan head spins and he asks, "Then why didn't you tell me at the time?" The Guoshi replies that he was afraid. With Shailan's personality at the time, he would have charged straight to Junwu for revenge. He would have died for nothing. Plus, the civil war was going to happen, whether or not that fake family died. It only sped things along. In the end, Shailan and Shenle were both defeated.
This is the moment that the Guoshi finally decided to face Jinwu directly. He calls upon him at the Royal Holy Pavilion and questions him, but Jinwu stays silent. Finally, the Guoshi asks, "Your Highness, just what exactly do you want?" And Jinwu replies that he wants Shelian to become his perfect heir. If there was anyone in the world who would understand him completely, it was Shelian. Once he succeeded, then Shelian would never betray him. The guoshi ends up fighting Jun Wu and is about to lose when suddenly Jun Wu stops and covers his face. The guoshi sees that the three faces of his old friends have surfaced again. It turns out that Jun Wu didn't get rid of them. He was only suppressing them constantly with his spiritual energy. So so this is the motivation here. This is Jinwoo's motivation. Like literally all he wants is like one person in this entire world who will never betray him. And the only way he thinks that he can achieve getting this one person is that they have to 100% experience everything that he experienced, suffer everything that he suffered, like literally live the same life as him, because then they would be the same person and they would have complete understanding of each other. And then he would never get betrayed by that person because they have the same mindset. So that's literally what he's trying to get Xiaolian to do, like just become a copy of him. That's fucked.
So fucked. He could have just found someone to pity him instead, but no, he wanted a clone.
No, he just wants someone who is like a clone of him because he's been betrayed by literally everyone in his life. So like he's alone. He's just lonely, man. He's just alone.
Poor Jun Wu.
I know.
The three faces antagonize Jun Wu, giving the guoshi the chance to run away. He wanders the mortal realm for many years, hiding all over the place, until finally he decides to return to the kingdom of Wu Yong to see what has become of it. But when he arrives, the land has been sealed off, completely isolated from the rest of the world, and the spirit of his three friends have turned into mountains, old age, sickness, and death. The kiln had devoured their bodies, and their ashes were mixed with the ashes of the volcano. They were blown out during countless eruptions, and after thousands of years, the layers of ashes transformed into three large mountains with their souls resting inside.
Yeah. So their bodies are the mountains, and then like their resentful souls are the growths on Jinwoo.
The tumors.
Gross. Yeah. The mountain spirits tell the Guoshi that the previous dynasty of heaven didn't naturally fade away. Instead, they were all killed slowly, one by one, by the crown prince, until not a single official who knew him existed. Then, the crown prince returned to the mortal realm and patiently waited, changing his name and creating a new identity to create a history where he was a mortal man who ascended to heaven. He became the heavenly martial emperor, but his entire background, his stories, his character, his appearance, they were all fake lies he created himself.
The heavenly capital is a new realm that he made himself and is under his control. The ashes and corpses of the old gods were mixed into the soil of the foundation of the heavenly capital, so that Junwu can trample and step on them every day. On the outside, he looks like a glorious martial god, but his heart is filled with infinite darkness, anger, pain, resentment, and hatred. Those emotions needed to be released in order for him to continue to be the God Emperor. So Junwu regularly released these dark emotions into the kiln, using the millions of Wu Yong souls as the flames to forge evil beings.
Man, he's just a really fucked up petty man.
Mm-hmm. He needs therapy.
Oh my god, he just super needs therapy. He just needs someone to talk to. This process is different from creating a supreme ghost king like Hua Cheng. A supreme ghost is only born once every several hundred years and is extremely rare and difficult to create. They can actually manifest anywhere eventually, but the kiln provides an environment to expedite the process. Meaning, a supreme ghost king doesn't necessarily have to be born from the kiln. A ghost just has to be powerful enough to endure extreme suffering. The earlier versions of the kiln was not meant for producing supreme ghosts. Instead, Jinwu poured in his hatred and resentment, and as a result, it would erupt once every few years to create batches and batches of evil beings. Some of the beings grew their own consciousness, like the Reverend of Empty Words, but others were clones of him.
The three mountain spirits guarded the kingdom borders to prevent the creatures from leaving the wards, while the guoshi spent years outside the wards searching for escaped creatures. It is revealed that this is how the guoshi knows Xinqin Xuan. He was chasing after the Reverend of Empty Words when he ran into Xinqin Xuan's family. In exchange for a bowl of soul, he told Xinqin Xuan's fortune when he was soup.
Where am I? I lost you.
Soup. Okay. Should be good?
Okay. I changed Xinqin Xuan's name and now there I see the highlight. Okay, cool. Soup.
In exchange for a bowl of soup, he told Shichichuan's fortune when he was a baby and warned his family not to hold any feasts.
Feasts.
Originally,
Oh my god,
feasts,
that's an S.
and warned his family not to hold any feasts. Originally, the Reverend had his eyes on Shiwudu, but the older brother was destined to ascend, with the fate so vicious, unafraid, and tyrannical that he couldn't be swallowed. So the Reverend changed its target to the younger brother, Shichichuan, a common human with a fate of wealth.
In the end, the Reverend was devoured by Hushwan. The guoshi was going to watch over the two brothers, but the kiln had opened its gates, so he had to return to Wu Yong. By the time he came back, everything was a mess, and Shiwudu had already cast a spell to switch his brother's fate. But then the guoshi says that the Reverend of Empty Words wasn't the most powerful to emerge from the kiln. It wasn't even it was even considered a defective product compared to other beings such as the ghost of Yinyan Bridge. The ghost was actually the ghost was actually a clone of Jun Wu, created in the kiln and born from his hatred. When Shelion killed it, Jun Wu could sense it and descended immediately. That's when he saw Shelion and heard his phrase, "Body in abyss, heart in paradise." That phrase was like a personal attack on Jun Wu's entire life and the turning point of everything. Uh,
So much character development, so
stress.
much history. Guys, we're finally
Stressed out, man.
learning the reason why
Stressed out.
Shaylan had to go through everything. It is all
Yes.
Junwoo's fault. None of it was Shaylan's fault.
No, no. Like everything was orchestrated, okay? Like the whole civil war being expedited, like that could like if that didn't happen so fast, like maybe Shelion could have found a way to figure out the drought if he just had more time. But the drought and the civil war happening all at the same time was like, and then the plague was from fucking Jinwoo. Also,
Yep.
bruh, there was no way to defeat that. There was just no way of overcoming that.
Yeah, he probably would have continued to stay a god. He probably wouldn't have been banished.
Yeah.
He just would have become weak for some time before he was able to like get back on his
Yeah.
feet in a way. And he would have just kind of faded into normal godhood and Hwaton never would have happened.
Yeah, probably. And also, like, all of heaven is a lie. Like,
Yeah.
Jinwoo, it's not, the heavens wasn't a naturally created place. It's artificially created by Jinwoo. Like, he created it, like, he invented it.
Yeah.
And then like, the gods that ascended, like, that they were, like, Jinwoo was the oldest god because he killed all the other fucking gods. Like,
Yep.
he just fucking orchestrated everything, slow planning, just fucking,
Yeah. Which is kind of crazy to think that what happens to people who, like if there wasn't a like a heaven situation happening, like what would have happened to anyone who ascended? Because the fates cause you to ascend. You just like go up to heaven, there's just nothing there, and you're standing on some clouds being like, well, what do I do?
I know. No, it's just, oh, yeah. Wow, Jinwoo is just the mastermind and very sneaky, and he's playing the long game. He's just like very, very patient.
And horrible. And
Horrible,
remembers every slight that's ever happened to him, every bad thing
Yes.
that's ever happened.
Yeah, literally,
So messed
Shelion
up.
is just like innocently like, yeah, like bad things happen, but like as long as you're positive, it's fine. And Jinwoo took that personally.
Yeah.
He's like, no, everything is not fine. You cannot go through life with a positive attitude. You must suffer like I suffered.
Yep.
Like, oh my god.
Oh man. Okay, so let's talk about our off topics today.
Sure.
What is yours?
Okay, let me pull it up. Okay, so mine. Oh my god, where is it? Bookmarks. Okay, so my off topic is actually. It's been a while since I read an Omegaverse one, but this is a very good Omegaverse one. It's Omegaverse, and it's a Modazushi fanfic. It's called Rattling Our Cages by Danajen, and it's very, very long. It's like I thought it was 100,000 words. Actually, it's 70,000 words, so it's not it's a little less, but it's still pretty long. And it's set in a world where it's still in like cultivation world, and everything is kind of like following the book, except that there is a system where all the Omegas are sent to like temples or brothels because they're considered like second class citizens. Like it's very political. They are like kept ignorant, so they have no like they're taught by teachers who like tell them that like the world is a scary place. You can't leave the temple or you're gonna get like just like like R word, and you have to stay safe in this house. And then they also live their lives by forming contracts. So all the great sects, they believe that alphas have better cultivation powers, even though that may not necessarily be true. It's just like you know, the thing that they say.
Yeah.
So they have contracts where they buy a year of an Omega's life in order to like create children, but they don't get to like the Omegas don't get to keep the children. They give birth to the children and then they have to go back to the temples for waiting for another contract before they die. So it's very fucked up. It's very fucked up. But Weiing is in one of those things, but basically he used to be a cultivator in the Jiang clan after he was adopted. But then when he presented as an Omega, the mom was like, "Oh fuck no," and then she like sent him away on a temple. So he's in this temple and he's basically like planning a way to escape the temple and like go off on his own, become a rogue cultivator like his family was. Unknowingly, like, so Lanzhan doesn't know anything about Omegas. He doesn't like care about all that stuff. Like he just wants to like live his life and like be whatever. But his brother is like concerned about him and it's like maybe you should get like a partner and like have a friend. So he's actually trying to find an Omega, not for like breeding purposes, but like to like have companionship. So he's like, I don't think a regular Omega who's like cultured and like knows about like poetry and art is gonna work for Lanzhan. Like he needs someone who's like chaotic and like the complete opposite of him. So he like during the interview he sees Wei Ying being like a gremlin and he's like, you're the perfect for my brother.
Wow.
So like he contracts him for a year. Wei Ying is like shipped to Cloudresis to meet Lanzhan, but Lanzhan like is so awkward. He like so like the Omegas are like they're basically servants with a status. They have to clothe their alphas. They have to like bathe them. They like do everything for them. And so like Wei Ying is like trying to do the things that he was taught to do, and Lanzhan's like, "Don't fucking touch me! What the fuck? Get away from me!" So and then like when Lanzhan gets like his ret eventually, like he thinks that he shouldn't like touch Wei Ying because he doesn't know the way that like things work like with the Omega temples. Like he doesn't know that that's what their purpose is.
Oh my god.
So Wei Ying is like, you don't even like, dang, like I was brought here to help you with this and you don't even want that. Like I'm so useless. Like I'm so unlovable and unwanted. So he's like super depressed about it. Like, oh my god. Anyways, that's kind of like the crux of the story. And then like the war happens and it's like crazy. And then they slowly fall in love. But it's really, really good. There's two of them. She wrote this 69,000 word story, like kind of like of the two characters falling in love. Yeah. And then the part 2 is 97,000 words. I can't believe it's longer than the first one. And it's about like after they already get together and they have a baby and like what that is all like. So it's really good. If you like political shit like that, like, and like the upright, like Wei Ying's basically like later on, he becomes like the symbol of the Omegas because he eventually becomes a cultivator and like does things that other Omegas don't get to do. So all the other Omegas in the temples are like inspired by him to like create a manifesto and like leave the temples and like start a war. So it's like, love that shit. Love that political drama.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I want to read that.
Yeah. It's really good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good shit.
Nice. Actually, okay. So last second, I'm changing mine to
sure,
manhwa that I've been reading.
Okay.
Okay, so this manhwa is called Painter Behind the Curtain. And it's, I don't know if it's Korean or if it's Japanese, honestly, because I forgot to look it up. But the concept is, it's kind of takes place in like Rococo era France, where it's all about like the Renaissance and paintings and art. It's about the aristocracy and how obsessed they are with painters. So it follows this young boy named Ian who gets taken in by a painter family. And this family is like very noble, aristocracy. But the thing is, so they picked him up because he was like extremely talented at drawing. They just found him on the street. Turns out, though, that they wanted to use him and his abilities. And so they lock him inside of a room and force him to paint every single day. And he
Jesus
paints these
Christ.
gorgeous, beautiful paintings that are all like religious and stuff, that because that's what was popular back then. And they would sell these paintings for like so much money. And they would pretend that the paintings were made by the first or the second son, or like the third, I don't know, one of the sons.
Oh,
And so
that's
like
fucked up.
yeah, so the son would come in and sign every time, like finish the painting, sign it with Jeremy. And the father was the one who orchestrated all this. Father's so fucked up.
Yeah.
So this boy is like 16, 17 years old at this point, and he's so malnourished.
Oh, no.
He's beaten every single day. He doesn't reap any of the benefits of what he does. He's basically just a slave, and they barely keep him alive. Instead of like treating him like a precious commodity because he's
Right.
literally making like their money for their home,
All their money, yeah.
they treat him like Cinderella. It's really bad, until one day a merchant, like a really rich, almost like mafia merchant, comes through and is like, I would like a portrait of me. And they're like, ew, we don't want your money, you're a merchant, that's disgusting, like you're actually like new money. But then he's like, okay, I'm gonna put down like a lot of money, like a lot, like 20 times more than what is normally paid for this. And they're like, oh, fine then, we will. And so, of course, to draw a portrait, the painter has to see the guy. So he has to stand in the room while like the son pretends to like do sketches and stuff. So he has to like memorize this guy's like face and stuff.
Jesus
So that's how they
Christ.
first meet. And the story just is a lot of like suffering of watching this painter boy.
Not surprised by your
Oh my God, of course.
recommendation.
It's I love
Yeah,
angst.
of
Go to Stella
course.
for angst. Go to Jenny for fluff and comedy.
Yeah, the loving stuff.
Yes. And so the story, it's really long actually, and there's a lot of development in it, which I really enjoy.
Okay.
But eventually, this painter ends up in the house of the merchant and like leaving the house of like the really abusive painter people. It's like a lot of drama, a lot of stuff happens. And the whole time, the merchant doesn't have any feelings for this
Okay.
boy, right? He's just using him as a tool to like get his he has like plans, like this mafia guy has plans
Yeah.
with the aristocracy, and he knows that he can get it by like using art and like pretending to be like part of the aristocracy. So it's a lot of just like watching this guy manipulate the people around him, and then watching this poor boy Ian get over his trauma.
Lovely.
Yes, Painter Behind the Curtain. I highly recommend it. It's really good. And the art style
Okay.
is very different. It's not typical of like the beautiful BL style. It's more, I want to say like you know how Attack on Titan is drawn? That style. It's
Yeah.
very like
Yeah. Okay.
sketchy
Like sketchy.
and more
Okay.
and like Western inspired and not necessarily Eastern inspired.
Cool. Okay.
That's my rec. Okay, so now is the time we talk about our Patreon. Guys,
Yay.
please support us on Patreon. Leave us comments on there. We enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah, we love it when you guys talk about the things that you like in each of the
Yeah.
episodes. And we
If
also
there's
like
anything cool you
to.
guys read, that'd be a good place for you guys to recommend stuff to us too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We also like to shout out our C20 tier because that is the tier that supports us the most.
Yes. Thank you for being our top tier supporters.
Yeah, so thank you, Owl.
Thank you, FazeBoy23.
Thank you, Kita.
Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, George.
And thank you so much, Rob. Yay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for supporting our Patreon.
And if you want to, you can also follow us on Twitter, where I retweet a ton of smut. Oh my God, it's been like a
All
very
the smut.
smutty feed lately.
It has. Yeah. I get the notifications when BLHQ makes a tweet post, and it's like it's a lot of fan art. A lot of fan art. Yeah.
Such good soup.
And I'm trying to find a phrase.
You had it underlined earlier.
Yeah, I did. What was that fucked up mentality of Jun Wu that I underlined, I think. Let me see where I find it. Oh no, it was when the guoshi talks about him. And as the guoshi said, they used blades to pierce his heart until it was mush, cursing him that he was a useless creature, a bullshit god. He was a god, and gods should have been mighty and strong. Gods couldn't fail, but he did fail. Lovely. On that note, good night.
Bye, everyone. See you in a couple of weeks. Bye.
Yes, bye. Oh my goodness.
Woo! Oh my gosh. So messed up. So
Yeah.
messed up.
Yeah. Wow. Just
Kate Payne, these
suffering.
The one I was reading is called Painter Behind the Curtain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Oh my God. Good stream, you guys. Thanks for watching. It's gonna be our last
Yeah.
stream, like we said, for a few weeks because we're gonna be gallivanting across Asia,
Mm-hmm.
going to so many cities. But yeah, I'm glad we kind of got to this reveal of Jun Wu because I always thought he's always been such an interesting character,
Mm-hmm.
and his identity has been hidden for so long that when he finally gets revealed, it's like this huge information dump of his like entire backstory. So you go from
Yeah.
like hating him to sympathizing with him to hating him again.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.